Salvete! Welcome to Latin with Stephen. Spero vos valere. I hope you are well. Spero vos, you guys, valere. Ego quoque valeo. I too am well. Spero vos valere. Ego quoque valeo. Welcome to this channel. Welcome to this new video. Perhaps you've just dropped in for the first time, or perhaps you've been following the sequence of lessons that I've produced so far. If so, I hope they're helping you. The objective of this lesson today is really just to take stock of where we've come so far without introducing any real new grammar points, just to do a little bit of revision and introduce a few new items of vocabulary that conform to the patterns that we've already learned. If we consider language as patterns to learn, this is something we can do with regular practice, repetition, writing out, saying things aloud, and we'll get that. This becomes very important in Latin. Just repeat, repeat, repeat. So that's what we're going to do today. Just adding, if we take our main declensions and conjugations as the branches on the tree, and we can always add new words as leaves or flowers on the ends of those branches. That's easy. Once we know our declensions and conjugations, which is to say, once we've got firm, strong branches, then we can easily add new words to them. All right, so this is why we keep practicing this. So let's start with our verbs. First conjugation. What's important about first conjugation? Do you remember? They all end in are in the infinitive, A-R-E. So our key verb was amare, to love. All right? How does it go? Take off the are, leaves you with the stem, am, in this case. Then add the personal endings. Can you do it with me? Amo, I love. Amas, amat, he, she, it. Amamos, we. Amatis, you guys, plural. Amant, amo, amas, amat. Amamos, amatis, amant. Again, amo, amas, amat. Amamos, amatis, amant. And we know, hopefully you've remembered, that amo can mean both I love and I am loving. Amat, he, she loves or is loving. What other verbs did we cover that work in exactly the same way? To greet was salutare, saluto, salutas, salutat. To call was vocare, voco, vocas, vocat. To praise, if it's laudable, is laudare, laudo, laudas, laudat. And then we had working, laborare, and walking, ambulare. So those are our verbs. Now let's come back to first the declension nouns. By this point, I'm really hoping that you're very, very familiar with these. You either know them off by heart, which is the ideal scenario, or you're close to that point. So this helps. This practice should facilitate that process. If you've arrived at this video and you're watching and you think this is all a little bit too much, I advise for you just to go back. The videos are numbered. First video after the introduction is noun declensions in the singular. Second video is the verb conjugation. So go back, practice, do those, then come back to this one in due course. So, puella. First declension noun, feminine. Let's go through the various cases in the singular first. Puella, puella, puellam, puellai, puellai, puella. Puella, puella, puellam, puellai, puellai, puella. Can you remember the functions of the cases? We did nominative to genitive. Nominative, basic case, dictionary form, is a subject of the sentence. So the girl is, she's being, or she's doing something. She's in charge of the verb, whatever comes next. She is working, she is greeting, she is seeing. Vocative is just what we call someone, address someone directly. Puella. It's not something we're going to have to worry about. Accusative, direct object. I love the girl. I call the girl. Genitive, what was that one? Belonging to, of the girl, the house of the girl, the father of the girl. So what we did, we took our English apostrophe, the girl's father, we unpacked it to the father of the girl, and the of the bit goes into the genitive. So in this case it would be of the girl would be puelai. And then we've got dative and plural, which I'm going to cover very, very soon. So in the plural, cases have the same function. This time it just means girls. We have puelai, puelai, puelas, puelarum, puelis, puelis. Puelai, puelai, puelas, puelarum, puelis, puelis. Let's do singular then plural. Puela, puela, puelam, puelai, puelai, puela. Puelai, puelai, puelas, puelarum, puelis, puelis. Okay, we're definitely getting there with these. Can you think of some of the other first declension nouns that work just like this? Remember I said once you know one, you know them all. Puella. What else did we have? I'm checking my list here. Agricola, farmer. Filia, daughter. Villa, with a V, like a villa or a house. Domina, what was that? Domina. It's the counterpart of dominus, who's the master. So the mistress, really. It would, to use that word to address someone directly would probably be the part of a slave. You know, the dominus is the master of the slave, or the domina in the female. And then we had obviously puella, mensa. What was that? The mensa, the table, stella, a star. Can you remember eagle? The sign of the Roman military standards. Aquila. Aquila with a Q-U. Aquila. Very good. So I hope those are pretty familiar by this point. Let me now just, I'm just going to, utilising some of those words, read you a few sentences, short sentences in Latin, and I want to see if you can just translate them, how quickly you can do it. First one, puellam agricola salutat. Puellam agricola salutat. Don't focus on the word order, but the endings. Puellam, accusative singular, agricola salutat. What is it? The farmer greets the girl. She's the object, hence accusative singular. Filias agricola salutat. Filias agricola salutat. The farmer greets the daughters. Could be his daughters, but the farmer greets the daughters because it was filias. That's accusative plural. Yeah? Filias. What have I got for you? Oh, dominam, filiae amant. Dominam, filiae amant. So when you have the verb with ending nt, amant, what's that? Plural. They. So what else is possibly plural in the sentence? Filiae. So the daughters love the mistress. Dominam, accusative. Filiae, nominative plural. Amant, plural verb. Last one. Domina agricolam non amat. Domina agricolam non amat. The mistress does not love the farmer. Said, but puella agricolam amat. Said, puella agricolam amat. But the girl loves the farmer. All right, very good. So let us now introduce a few new items of vocabulary, which are on this board here. First of all, 4 new nouns, all of them feminine, all of them first declension ending in a, which, as I've said, means they will just behave like this. So we're adding leaves to our to our branches here. Patria. Patria. Looks like an English word. Sounds like an English word. Are you patriotic? The patria was your home country, yeah, your homeland or nation. Ancilla. Now, in terms of pronunciation, if you watched a lesson on pronunciation, you'll know it's a hard C. If you hear someone say ancilla, it's not the end of the world. I don't think a Roman would have pronounced it like that. According to the information that's been passed down to us, you do see different Latin pronunciations over time. There's a Church Latin, where sometimes a C is a ch. But in Roman times, this would be ancilla, double L. Ancilla would be a slave girl. So we mentioned early on the servus or servus as a slave. There was a serva, but I think ancilla was possibly more commonly used. We come across the word quite frequently, so that was a slave girl. Hasta. Hasta. The H in Latin is pronounced, is aspirated just like in English, so you don't need to overdo it, but do pronounce it. Hasta. Quite simply like that. Hasta was a spear. Very important if we consider the Romans, certainly the early Romans, as both farmers and soldiers, as an agricultural military community. They were often known as the spear holders or the spear bearers. And the spear, the hasta, featured symbolically actually in various aspects of life, such as when perhaps a conquered enemy was sold into slavery, they would pass sub hasta beneath the spear to be sold. So we come across hasta quite a lot. And the last one is matrona. Matrona is, well, it's like the English word matron, if that means anything to you. Don't hear it too much in modern days. Matrona was basically the married Roman citizen. So the Roman wife, the female head of the family unit, being a Roman citizen, and she would wear as the men in formal settings certainly would wear the toga, the woolen toga. The woman had the stola, S-T-O-L-A. The matrona did. Not everybody was allowed to wear one. There's a certain dignity accorded to the matrona. And in the stories of Livy, or the history of Livy in the early days, there were many instances where the matronae came and saved the day by bringing all their gold and their jewels to help in times of financial crisis. And apparently there was also a senate of the matronae. So the main senate was just for the men of certain societal social rank, but there was a cenaculum for the matronas, for the matrons, and the emperor Elagabalus apparently built a kind of senate hall for them. So there we go. So the matrona, quite an important word in Roman society. So patria, ancilla, hasta, matrona. Let's just take one of those words and just play about with it to make sure we're happy with our declension. Let's take ancilla, singular, through the cases. Ancilla, ancilla, ancillam. I see the slave girl, I know the slave girl, accusative singular. Ancillae, genitive of the slave girl. Ancillae, ancilla, plural. Ancillae, ancillae, ancillas, I see them. Ancillarum, of them. Ancillis, ancillis. Good. So, how would we say then? Let's make some simple sentences. I love, remember that one? The I love the country, the homeland. Now, of course, Latin does have words for my and your and his, but very often where it's obvious, they leave it out. So if you wanted to say, I love my homeland, you can just say, I love homeland. The homeland, my homeland, and it's just inferred from the context. So if we put our verb second, what's going to happen to this? Is the patria loving me? Don't think so. So it's going to go in the accusative, it's receiving the action, patriam amo. You can say amo patriam, but patriam amo. Plural, we love the country, or by implication, we love our country. Patriam non amo, amamos. Maybe we don't. Maybe it's not a good place to be. Patriam non amamos. But the farmer loves the country, or his country. Sed agricola patriam amat. The girl also loves the country, and the girl also loves the country. Et puella, what's also? Quoque, puella quoque, patriam amat. Sed agricola patriam amat, et puella quoque, patriam amat. Okay? Very, very good. What else can we make? How would you say the slave girl is working? The slave girl is working, like labouring. Ancilla laborat. She's not working. Ancilla non, N-O-N, laborat. Nunc, now. Non laborat. Let's pluralise. There are two slave girls in the house, but they're not working. Ancillae non laborant. Laborant. We could say the word for today, hodie. Ancillae hodie, look below, non laborant. Ancillae hodie non laborant. Perhaps it's the winter festival, this December festival, the Saturnalia, the festival of Saturn, where the slaves took part and were actually waited on, apparently, by their masters. What else could we say? All right, what about the slave girl calls the matron, the mother of the house? Ancilla matro, she's the object. Matronam vocat. The slave girls, plural this time, there are two of them, they call the matron. Ancillae matro, accusative, matronam vocant. The slave girl doesn't love the matron. Slave girl, remember there's no the. Slave girl, not love matron, or matron, not love. Ancilla matronam non amat. Non amat. Okay. Couple of new verbs. So we've had amare, salutare, laudare, laborare. The opposite of laudare, to praise, laudable. There are several words, but this is a nice first conjugation one. Castigare. I've not written the English there because I couldn't fit it on. It sounds a bit like an English word. If you're telling someone off, you chastise, scold. Can mean to punish as well, to rebuke. So someone's being, told off, reprimanded, maybe punished. There's a different word for punish, punire. But castigare, we imagine someone being perhaps verbally reprimanded. So let's have a go at just conjugating that. So if we have a look, we need to take off the are from the infinitive. Gives us a stem which I've underlined. Castig, castigo, castigas, castigat. Castigamus, castigatis, castigant. Castigo, castigas, castigat. castigamos, castigatis, castigant. And the second verb, and the last new word for us today, is the verb to help. And this throws up another interesting pronunciation point that I don't think I've covered yet. Well, we know the V is W, so the last bit's ware. Ware. If you say vare, don't worry, it doesn't matter. But ware, what's that? It's simply you. You. So not you. If you say it fast enough, you get you. So imagine there's a Y, invisible Y, in front, like yogurt, yacht. You. You ware. In fact, some dictionaries and some books actually present it with a J in the Latin. But this is the more correct way of doing it. They do it just to avoid confusion sometimes. My dictionary has J's in, which will be a Y sound. So J-U instead of I-U. But the Romans wrote it like this. Iuare. So that's the infinitive. Iuare. Iuare, to help. Take off the are from the infinitive. We get you or you've. Then we add our personal endings. You wo, you was, you what. I help, you help. He helps or she helps. You amos, you artist, you want. You wo, you was, you what. You amos, you artist, you want. You you wo, you was, you what. You amos, you artist, you want. So we are helping. We are helping. You amos. You amos. We're not helping. No, you amos. The girl is helping. Puella, you what? The girls are helping. Remember the NT on the verb? Puellai. Nominative, they're doing it. Puellai, you want. Same sentence, but let's add an object. So we had puellai, you want. The girls are helping the matron. Puellai matronam iuant. Very good. Well done if you got that right. Puellai matronam iuant. But you know, this matron, she's a bit grumpy, especially if people don't pull their weight. So she's actually chastising, scolding the slave girl. Matron scolds the slave girl. Matrona, ancelam, castigat. It's a long E. Castigat. Matrona, puellam, or ancelam, castigat. There are 2, 3, 4 slave girls. Just pluralize it. The matron chastises, rebukes, punishes the slave girls. Matrona, ancelas, plural, castigat. But the matron does not chastise the daughter, her daughter, but they probably wouldn't use the her because it's obvious. It would be in the context, and there's no there. So, but matron, daughter, not chastises. But matron, daughter, not chastises. Said matrona, filiam, non castigat. Very, very good. Let's just do 1 or 2 more. What about the farmer, singular? The farmer helps the girl, singular. Agricola, nominative. Puellam iuat. It could be is helping now. Agricola, puellam iuat. Turn puellam to daughter. Agricola, filiam iuat. He helps the daughter, possibly his daughter, but actually no, because we're going to make the daughter belong to someone. The farmer helps the daughter of the matron. In English we'd say the matron apostrophe s, the matron's daughter. But let's unpack it. The farmer helps the daughter, accusative, of the matron. What case is that last bit? Of the genitive singular. The farmer helps daughter, there's no there, of matron. The farmer helps the matron's daughter. Agricola filiam matronai juat. Agricola filiam matronai juat. Or you could Agricola matronai filiam juat. Agricola matronai filiam juat. Doesn't matter because the filiam indicates straight away that she's the direct object. So whether she comes before the matronai or after, or even you switch the sentence about a bit more, it wouldn't really make a difference. It becomes very, very clear. You could say filiam matronai agricola juat. Or even matronai filiam agricola juat. Whichever way you move them around, it's still clear that we've got a singular verb, juat, third person. But we're looking for a nominative, agricola. We've got an accusative, filiam. And whilst we know that technically, in isolation, matronai, we've got several I's there as well. But in the context of this, because we've got a subject and a direct object, then it has to be a genitive. So the farmer helps the daughter of the matron. And when you looked at that sentence, then if you saw it on paper, you'd know that through going through this process. So guys, I'm going to leave it there because we're on 26 minutes. This one was supposed to be a shorter one, but there we go. I get carried away. So I hope that's useful. Practice, practice, practice. Start making a list of these nouns. Add to your list of verbs, and we'll keep adding more and more. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please give me a like if you enjoyed it or if you found this useful. Subscribe if you haven't already, then you'll find out about the new videos. And feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to know where you are, where you're watching this from, what your reasons are for doing Latin. Just do say hi. So I'll leave it there, and I shall say valete, which means be well, take care, and see you soon.